Om Swastiastu. So thank you for all of the opportunity that given to us so we can present our material today. So our material is about character and characteristic in a movie. But before that, we would like to introduce ourselves one by one. My name is Niputu Putri Widya Maharani.
My name is Kadek Ria Cahyani.
My name is Luh Agustini Pujayanti.
My name is Putu Ayu Puspita Dewi.
My name is Made Ayu Sri Sudharmadi.
So we have 5 members in our group. And before we start the presentation, I would like to inform that in this presentation, we used the movie called Prisoners that was released in 2013 as the example of the character and characteristic analysis. So for the table of contents, we have 4 main contents here, and the first content will be explained by my friend. So for the first presenter, the time is yours.
All right, thank you, moderator, for inviting me. So for the first subtopics, I would like to talk about the definition between character and characterization. So character is basically an entity in the story who is able to act in the environments of the story world. Characters of the story are usually human or human-like individuals. For example, the human characters like Batman or Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games, and for the human-like individuals can be in form like animals, for example, like the rabbit in the Alice in Wonderland. They are still the most relevant existence in a great majority of short stories and novels. And then we move to characterization. Characterization is the act of creating and describing characters in literature. Characterization includes both description of the character's physical attributes as well as the character's personality. The way that characters act, think, speak, and also adds to the characterization. It is used to reveal a character's values, feelings, goals, and etc. to the readers. Next, please. Now, I would like to tell you that there is 2 kinds of characterization in a story. The first one is called indirect characterization. It is when the character is presented by the narrator who describes his or her physical, mental, and also behavioral characteristics. For example, you can see in the movie Beauty and the Beast, where the narrator is narrating how and introducing how is the prince turned into the beast. And the second one is direct characterization. It is basically the character is revealed through his or her action, words, looks, thoughts, or effects on other characters. A form of showing here. There are 5 methods of direct characterization, namely speech. It means that how the character communicate verbally and interact with the other character. And the second one is thought. Thought is basically what the character thinks, desire, want, or plan in the story. And then the third one is effects. Effects is how a character influenced or reacted to the other characters in the story. And the fourth one is action. Action is basically what a character do, their behavior, and also gestures that they use in the movie. And then lastly, looks. Looks is basically the appearance of a character. It may include eye color, hair length, and then height, weight, or skin tone. That's all for my material. The next material will be presented by my friend. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the time. So now I will explain about characteristic of character. So there are 3 characteristics of the character. So the first is physical. These are the feature of the body, such as whether the character is tall or short, slim or fat, fair or dark, male or female, and others. Many physical characteristics are external and can be observed with the naked eye. For example, like shape of the nose and then scar on the forehead. And then while others might be internal and just difficult to perceive directly. For example, like diabetes and heartburn. The next is mental. These are the features of personality or physiology, such as whether the character is modest or arrogant, upbeat or depressive, cruel or kids, dreamy or practical, and others. These traits compose what is commonly understood and the character of a person. They may include traits that are perceptual, emotive, volitional, and cognitive. The last one is a behavioral. These are the features of behavior or habits, such as whether the character is punctual or unpunctual, shout or whisper when speaking, look easily or never look at all, drinks or avoid alcohol, and others. Sometimes it is difficult to distinguish mental and behavioral traits, as they tend to be intimately connected. Behavioral traits may be related to any action that character undertake, including communicating and interacting with others' character. So that's all for me. The next material will be continued with my friends. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time. So here I will explain about the types and examples of character. In general, characters can be divided into four types. So the first one is based on the function. There are the main character is a character who has an important role in the story. This character is the character most told, both as the perpetrator of the incident and who is subject to the incident. So in fact, in certain novels, the main character is always present in every event and can be found in every page of the storybook concerned. And the next, supporting characters are characters who have a complementary role in the story, and the presence of these characters only supports the main character. And the second type is based on role, such as the protagonist is a character admired by the reader or a character whose behavior is in accordance with the will of the reader. However, in literary terms, the protagonist is the same as the main character because he or she has a major role in the story. And the next, antagonist character is a character who is the cause of conflict and tension experienced by the protagonist. The next type is based on characterization. A simple figure is a character who has a certain personal quality, only one certain character trait. The nature and behavior of a simple character is flat and monotonous. And next, a complex character is a character who has and reveals various possible sides of his life, personality, and identity. He or she can have a certain character that can be formulated, but he or she can also display various characters and behaviors, perhaps even as contradictory and unpredictable. The last type is based on the possibility of the story characters' reflection on a group of people from real life. This type can be divided into two. There are a typical character is a character whose individuality is shown only slightly and the quality of birth or nationality is emphasized more or other things that are more representative. And next, natural characters are characters that appear for the sake of the story itself. He or she is an imaginary character who only exists in the fictional world. He or she is present or presented solely for the sake of the story, or even he or she is actually the perpetrator of the story and what is being told. And the last type is based on the criteria for whether or not a character develops. And the first is a static character. Is a story character who doesn't experience changes or developments in character as a result of events that occur. And the second, developing characters are characters who experience changes and developments in character in life with the development or changes in events and plots that are told. So that's all for the material. The next material will continue by my friend. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the time. I will continue explain about character analysis from movie Prisoners. But before that, I want to explain to you the synopsis of this movie. So Prisoners is a movie about the kidnapping of two daughters and how the characters involved to choose to react in order to get them back. And the main focus here is placed on two characters, that is Keller Dover and Detective Loki. The journey of the main character is into both a physical as well as mental or a subconscious underworld. The first one, I want to explain about Keller Dover. Next slide. So Keller Dover is a religious and protective dad who will do anything to keep his family safe. Keller's slave girl, Austin, has been stunned by his trauma in a way he as much as prisoner as Alex Jones and Bob Taylor. His repressed feelings of rage and despair awake by the kidnapping of his daughter. And at the end of the movie, as we know, after Loki find Dover, he became a prisoner of his own grave by sacrificing his humanity to find his daughter, which leads him to the pit at the end of the movie. Keller's search for his daughter is physical, but when his faith is tested and he is forced to confront of the daughter, more aggressive aspect of his nature, his trek through the world maze become increasingly mental. And as he neglects his wounded wife and rapidly regresses back into old destructive habits and setting, he physically slips into his own worst place imaginable, helpless, and at the end, he is unable to save his daughter. Next. This material will be explained by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Sri. So the second character is Detective Loki. So he is the main protagonist, and he is a police detective working from Pennsylvania, who is tasked to find a man's missing daughter and her friends. So in this story, he is the main protagonist, and he is also the main character because he plays a very big role in the movie. So for the physical characteristics, he is kind of tall, he has slick black long hair, and also he has blue eyes, and he is white. He has tattoo on his left neck, and it's in the shape of circle. He looks like around his 30s or 40s. And for the mental characteristic, he is very brave. He's patient and also good at finding clues. He is very brave because he is a police that try hard to find the main villain, and also he's very patient because he still work hard even it's really hard to find the main villain. And for the behavior, he's the detective who solves the case. He is smart and he does not easily believe in others. He talks calmly and acts mature. So he really acts like a great police. He worked hard to find the main villain, and he's also very calm and does not believe to people easily. Okay, next. For the third character, it's Holly John. So she is the main villain. He is the main antagonist in this story. So on her turn has been prisoner of her own repressiveness for quite some time. So he is the one who kidnapped the children, but at first he acts she acts as a very good mother, but at the end it's turned out that she is the main villain. So for the physical characteristic, she's old, around 50s or 60s. She has gray hair due to her age, often wears turtlenecks and cardigan. She wears glasses and she is white and she is not very tall. And for the mental characteristic, she is a psychopath and very manipulative. She is selfish and do not want to feel defeated. So, because she is the one who kidnapped all of the children, she is very manipulative because she can manipulate all of the police and people around her. And for the behavior, she acts nice and friendly at first, but it turned out that she is the main villain. She acts nice to fool people. Okay, next. Okay, next is Franklin Birch. So he is the supporting character. He is a protagonist character. He's the father of Joy, who is the one of the victim in the movie. So for the physical appearance, he's kind of tall. He has very short black hair. He is black and he wears glasses. He looks like around his 30s or 40s. And for the mental characteristic, he's Sopatian. He can act calm as his daughter being kidnapped. So he's not really looks depressed when his daughter being kidnapped. And for the behavior characteristic, he talks calmly and gentle to everyone. Okay, next. Okay, for the next character will be explained by my friend.
Thank you, Rani. I will continue explain about Alex Jones. So, in the movie, through Loki's explanation in the Calderdover's house, explained that he is have the same intellect as a 10-year-old child, but does not specify what disorder that he has actually, or whether he is autistic or he has some other condition or illness that is not explained in the movie. He is most certainly the result of repeated of abuse and fear throughout his existence. And as we know, he is the victim of Calderdover in this movie. And that's also why, and because of his intellectually, that's also the reason why officers know that he cannot be the culprit, because a man with intelligence of 10 years old isn't exactly sophisticated kidnapper capable of outwitting the cops. And for Calderdover, Alex is the suspect, but on the other hand, Loki already has other suspects to chase affectionately. In general, he doesn't have anything to say and remain unimpressive. He usually wear big, baggy aviator type of glasses and always dries up with layering clothes. And then for the mental, as I explained before, he is a man with 10-year-old child intellect and get panic attack pretty easily. And then for the behavior, he is intellectually disabled and childish innocence, and sometimes he is slightly old. Next. Next is a father or Patrick Dunn. In the movie, there's a scene where Loki visits a local priest and finds a decomposed body in his basement. And then the priest reveals that the man confessed to killing 60 children in the war against God and result in the priest killing the man in realization. Patrick Dunn is a fictionalism, and in that scene, because he decision based solely on himself and kills the man, most likely in non-stable condition, because he in the movie also mentioned that he is drunk. For the physical, he is a fat old man, probably in his 70s, and then the mental, he is a mental unstable man, mental confusion, and difficulty remain conscious. And in his behavior, he's decided to on his own to stop crime and punish fictional criminals, or as we know as vigilant. Next. Next is Grace Dover. He is Keller Dover's wife. After the kidnapping of his daughter, she becomes depressed and bedridden, spending majority of the movie in her bed. She was actually very caring and joyful mother and wife, but everything changed after she lost her daughter for almost a week, which caused her to have anxiety, insomnia, and other symptoms. And her health worse, and she spent the majority of her time in a bed with so many medication. He's a white, and she's kind of tall woman and has blonde hair. For the mental, she is a very joyful mother and always loved her family. His behavior in the movie, as we know, she has become panic easily and kind of have a mental unstable. Next. Next is Nancy Burst. He is Franklin's wife, who also a housewife like Grace Dover. He is concerned about his family and is always taking care of them. Toward the midst of the movie, she makes mistakes by refusing to speak out about Alex being kidnapped and being abused by Keller Dover, despite seeing Alex's desperate need for help. Physically, he is a black woman with short hair, wide set eyes, and she is kind of tall and often wears a hat. For mental, she is a caring, joyful mother and always spends most of her time with her family. And then in behavior, she is very concerned about her family and always take care of them. Next. This material will be explained by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Sri. For the next character is Bob Taylor. Actually, he is the supporting character and he is an antagonist. So he is one of the suspects. He had Joyce and Anna's clothes in his house. Basically, Bob was going around stealing kids' clothes and well as buying them. So he is not the one who kidnapped Anna and Joy. Later, it found that he was Holly's victims and he escapes but ends up having a mental breakdown due to drug Holly injected with him when he was kidnapped. So for physical characteristic, he is kind of tall. He is white and looks like a nerd. He has black hair with a bangs. And for mental characteristic, he is mentally unstable because he was kidnapped and got traumatized. And for behavior, he acts weird because he was traumatized. He doesn't talk much and very mysterious. He also acts suspicious. When police bring her to the police station, he barely talks and only acts like a very weird person. Okay, so for the next character is Joy Birch. So she is the one of the supporting character and she is the protagonist. Even if her kidnapping case is the main thing that being discussed in the movie, but she's not the main character. So she is the daughter of Franklin and Nancy. She was kidnapped when she is playing outside with Anna. She escaped when Holly about to inject her and Anna. She almost got hit by a car until someone saved her. Later, she broke to the hospital and met her family. So for the physical characteristic, she's a child around 6 to 11 years old. She's black and has long curly black hair. And for the mental characteristic, she is honest and has a great memory. She remember where she remember when she was about being injected by Holly. She saw Anna's father there. And for the behavior, She acts just like a normal kid, but she's very brave because she's able to escape when Holly is about to inject her and Anna. Next. Okay, the next material will be explained by my friend.
Alright, and then for the last character, here we have Anna Dover. She is also same case with Joy Birch. She is also the supporting character and the protagonist in this movie. And she is a 6-year-old child, daughter of Keller Dover and Grace Dover. And in the movie mentioned that she has one of close friend named Joy Birch. Their home is not far away, so they usually go to each other home. And Anna is a cheerful and exciting child. For the physical, she is a 6-year-old child and she has long straight blonde hair and she is white. For the mental, she is happy, joyful, and an exciting child. And then for the behavior, she is a little scared but also curious because she always wants to try something new.
So thank you for all of the group members who already presented the presentation. So from this presentation, we know that character is the characters, can be human, things, or animal that play a role in a story. Each character has its own characteristic that tell their physical appearance, their mental situation, and also their behavior. And characteristic and character is very important in a story because the whole story is being played by the character and their characteristic is made how they will behave during the whole story. So that was our presentation about character and characteristics. We are sorry if in our presentation we made some mistakes. Thank you for your attention and we hope that this presentation will help you to understand more about character and characteristics. So we will close this presentation with Paramasanti. Om Santi 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 Om.